Hey everyone, I'm joined by Dyrus, who recently capped his 5-year legendary esports career at Worlds. And it's been so long, Dyrus. You were 19 years old when you joined TSM, 18 when you started playing League competitively. After this whole journey, if you could say one thing to 18-year-old you right now, I'm you at 18 years old, what would you say?
Don't leak any strategies and be as healthy as you possibly can.
But it's been a long career, 202 NALCS games, including playoffs. Most assists ever for a top laner. You've been to all 5 World Championships. You've been to all 6 North American LCS finals. 51,557 CS, which is the 3rd most all time. Do those numbers mean anything to you?
Yeah, it means a lot to me in a way of where it's shown how long I've actually played the game. Not so much for the top of my performance of in a single game, but more of how long that I've been doing it for.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of longevity, you see so many pro players burn out very quickly. They come in for a year, maybe they're successful for 6 months, then they fall off and then they quit or retire or can't find a team. But you've been in the scene near the top of it for 5 years. What has kept you driven to continue to perform throughout those 5 years?
I think the main thing about keeping me driven for all these years is basically because my love for the game. Just straight up my love and passion for the game. A good example of that is I've never played a game for so long. Like for example, in closed beta, I played the game for 3 days straight without sleeping. And that's saying a lot for any game that I've played, because I'm very picky about games and I've been playing video games since I was 3 years old. And on top of that, there's patches that make the game feel fresh every year. And even though it's kind of hard to adapt every single time, it's kept it interesting, for better or worse.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about your love of the game 3 days straight. You also talk about being healthy, so maybe those are conflicting goals, but still tremendous passion. With all of that, when did you actually decide to retire and step away from the game?
So as I played League more and more, I was the kind of player that was okay with second place. And when I first joined TSM, I wasn't fully on the same page. I didn't understand their passion and drive into the game until I lost at Season 2. And I didn't realize how serious it was until I made the big mistake. And as time went on, a lot more pressure came onto me. So I tried my hardest to make my teammates happy with me. I tried my hardest to do my best, learn as much as I can. I tried to throw away my pride, and I tried to just, not only for myself, but for the team that's given so much to me and given me an opportunity to do something like this, and I wanted to repay them back. But unfortunately, in the end, I started to feel like I wasn't as good as I used to be. And as time went on, if I felt like I was letting my teammates down, I felt it was probably time to step down. And I think this was probably the best time for me to step down, not because that I didn't really have the mechanical skill, but more I didn't have the mentality, I didn't have the motivation to keep going, and everything just didn't fall into place for me. So I felt like this was a good time for me to step down, and I felt like there's a lot of talent out there, and I just wanted to see TSM with a new top laner also.
Were you ever worried about your legacy? How do you think you'll be remembered versus how you want to be remembered?
For me, it's definitely a bonus if I can be remembered in a good way, but it was all about doing the best I could for my team. It doesn't matter if I'm looked at as a really bad player or an evil villain or whatever. All that mattered to me was that if my teammates were happy with me, I was happy. Even when I was being questioned this season or last season, I've had my times and moments where I did play really well. I did do a lot of good things. And that was because my teammates believed in me. But as time went on, I started to see slight changes in our team atmosphere and for myself, because I was so worried about doing well. And even though my teammates still stuck with me and still believed in me towards the end, I felt like I was letting them down. And because I felt like I was letting them down, I felt like it was time for me to step down.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a lot of the struggles you had in the last season. You've obviously been playing across 5 competitive seasons. You mentioned some of the difficulties you had in the last one, but if you had to rank the seasons kind of against each other, what would have been your favorite year of playing League of Legends?
Season 4 was my favorite year of playing League of Legends because it was the closest we ever were to winning the World Championships. It's just that Samsung White, the team that did win, was just so much better than everyone else. We were able to compete with the top teams across all regions. We were able to scrim with Samsung White, and we took a couple games off them. We couldn't beat them, but we could beat literally everyone else in scrimmages. So that was the kind of year where I felt like I've worked really hard, and my hard work and effort really paid off. But at the same time, we were so close yet so far because infrastructure really took a jump from there, and it really like set a standard for the next year.
Absolutely. And you've also played with so many different people on TSM. Chaox, Xpecial, Reginald, Odd One, Wild Turtle. It just keeps going. Amazing, Bjergsen, Glebe, Santorin, Lustboy. Do you have a favorite teammate?
So for me personally, my first favorite teammate was Reggie, because he was not only your coworker and friend, but he was also your boss. And he looked out for the team and did everything for the team. And he was just such a good friend and coworker, whereas we would have our differences, but when he looked to solve things, it was done within fair reason. And even though there's been times where we've yelled at each other and all that, like in the end, we've understood each other. And when he stepped down, like it became a lot more clear of what we're trying to do and how much he really meant to the team. And at the same time, not only did he do all that, he came in to coach for TSM in the next year, which was like season 4, when he stepped in to help us with analyzing and coaching, and he single-handedly brought up the team to a world-class level, even while doing all that stuff. So it started with Reggie, and then after that, my favorite teammates became Bjerg and Turtle, because Bjerg is kind of like the main character of like any story. Every time I saw him, it's like if there was a movie, he would be the main character. Every time I saw Bjerg, is like if there was something on Reddit, he'd be like the first one to tell you. Like he would announce it like a news announcer. And then for Turtle, he's just the easiest person to get along with that I've known all of my life. So those are my top 3 for favorite teammates.
What do you think you'll miss the most about playing competitively?
My most favorite things about playing competitively is being able to perform on a stage in front of many people. And when I did have those moments, it made me the most happy. Because when you see the hype, the music, the loading, the players go on stage making huge plays, the crowd cheers. Like for season 4 at PAX, when there's like all these people that you see in the crowd and you perform right in front of them, that is my most missed moment. And at the same time, it is one of my regrets and one of the things that I'll miss about the most, being able to perform in front of tons and tons of people and just hearing the energy of the crowd.
All right, well, thank you very much, Dyrus, and I wish you luck.